What do a stalker and a Pokemon trainer have in common?
Are we really going to do this every week?
Yeah, we're going to do it every week. They both hide in bushes trying to get a Pikachu.
Play the intro music.
Yeah. Get a little bit of gasoline. I'm gonna make it burn. I'm gonna make it burn. Let's go.
You are now listening to the You Run podcast, the only horror movie review podcast completely run and controlled, not by me and Mark, your hosts, but by you, our listeners.
Hey, Scoob! We're on the radio, bro! You wanna die tonight? Zoinks!
You choose the movies. You score them. You review them. You do it all. Because after all, this is not our show. This is your show.
I'm your number one fan, Mr. Man!
It's not perfect. It has its problems.
The You Run podcast.
It was just weird. I don't know. I guess like a weird vibe.
The You Run podcast.
Bitch, you better not forget about me. Don't you ever forget about me.
Hey, this is Naomi Grossman, best known as Tucker from American Horror Story.
Hi, it's Imitation Dave. Buddy, you son of a bitch.
Just make sure you fucking listen.
This was fucking incredible. He's the one you need to blame.
Get a little bit of gasoline. I'm gonna make it burn. I'm gonna make it burn. Let's go. I'm gonna make it burn. I'm gonna make it burn.
Hello, welcome to the You Run podcast. My name is Scott.
And my name is Mark.
And each week we take you through the movies that you have asked us to review. In fact, no, you don't ask us, you demand us. We give you a poll and you go, I want that one. So we review the one you want. This week is Found Footage Week. And you picked a movie that I was 100% convinced I had seen and I didn't like. As it turns out, I hadn't seen it. That's my confession for the episode.
Mate, we have spoke about this film numerous times and you have told me about it. How have you not seen it?
I don't know if I've seen it and it just didn't soak in or it lived somewhere in my subconscious, but watching this was literally like a first watch for me, which, well, yeah, I haven't seen them all. This week, we're going to be looking at Creep. Before we do that... Check it out! It's that time of the week. It's time for Mark to recommend an account.
This week's recommended account comes for TWD_horror obsessions. Now, this is an account I know personally. I've never spoken to the owner of this account, but it's someone that I see pop up regularly. They're always filling their Instagram feed with horror news and more so Walking Dead news. This is an account that is clearly an avid Walking Dead fan. They post reviews as episodes as they come out. They acknowledge anniversaries of episodes as they come out. They acknowledge birthdays of cast members that come out. I mean, this account puts in some serious dedication to getting his research in for Walking Dead fans and horror fans in general. So this week's recommended account is TWD_horror obsessions. He puts a lot of work into his page, and I feel if you're either a Walking Dead fan or a horror fan in general, there will be something for you to enjoy. So please check him out, give him a like, give him a follow, share the love.
Yeah, and I like this account. I follow this account. This is an account that I am one of the few remaining people who still watch The Walking Dead, who didn't dip out at season 3 or 2 or whatever. I'm very much, I must see it to the end. And I like their account because they give me updates on when stuff is coming and I don't need to go and look. They're a great account. And some of the behind the scenes stuff they share is awesome.
Yeah, they do some incredible stuff. I haven't been following as avidly as I should be at the moment because I kind of dipped out at the lockdown episodes where we got solo cast episodes. And it wasn't purely because I lost interest in the show. I just got so behind with my own page. And when I found the time to watch something, it was usually watching a horror film. So I've dipped out of The Walking Dead, but I'm definitely going to get caught back up before we get to the final. I think it's a third, isn't it? The last season?
Yeah.
Into 3/3. So before we get to that final third of the season, I will 100% be caught up and back on board.
Yeah, maybe at some point we'll give it a brief, I don't know, a mini-sode. We'll give The Walking Dead a mini-sode once over because I think
we'll wait till the finale. We'll see how it ends, and if it goes out like Game of Thrones, then we'll never speak of it again.
you mean where they crafted possibly one of the greatest series ever, and then at the end went, that'll do.
Yeah, pretty much. That'll do. That'll do. Sums up Game of Thrones' final 2 seasons.
It's a little bit like Halloween 1, 2, and 3, and then they got to Halloween 4 and went, that'll do.
And mate, you're gonna stop this. Stop this.
I
am setting a petition now. Anybody who's listening, please message Scott, inundate him as much as you can to get Halloween 4 on the show, just so I can explain to him why it is a masterpiece of the Halloween franchise.
I tell you what, if someone calls in and requests Halloween 4, they've got to call in. They've got to go to yourunpodcast.com, leave a message saying, I want to hear you and Mark review Halloween 4. I will find a way to get it in this season.
Can I call him?
No. It can't be you.
I have people I can pay off. I'll even get my wife to do it. It'll happen.
Right. So.
God damn, if that ain't the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. Not only is that practical, it is just badass. Wow, look at you, Dr. Smarty Pants.
What starts out as a simple videography job quickly escalates into something a little bit more sinister, preying on our worst fears of real-life situations that me and Mark have both experienced firsthand. Creep delivers exactly what it says on the tin. And, well, yeah, it's the Ron seal of horror.
All right, we are leaving the flatlands and we are heading up towards the mountaintop. The ad said $1,000 for the day, filming services. Discretion is appreciated. A yellow door. And realizing that no one knows I'm here.
Hi!
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you.
I'm assuming you're Aaron.
Yeah, I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you.
Joseph. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is gonna be a good day.
So the reason I've hired you is because I have terminal brain cancer, and I want you to film me to make a video diary for my unborn son. You ready for this?
Okay. Joseph.
This is called an adventure. We don't know exactly where we're going, but I have a feeling. When you follow those feelings, great things can happen. Don't ever forget that.
Joseph?
There was about 2 seconds there where it looked like you wanted to kill me.
Joseph? I think I'm gonna head back. You see my keys?
One drink, okay?
Bottoms up.
Hello. You need to get out of that house right now.
Joseph. Joseph.
Why do you look scared? Don't be scared. It'll all be over soon.
So this movie starts with us meeting Aaron. He's a videographer and starts with him pulling up to a house in a remote area. He goes and knocks on the door and there is no answer. So he gets back in his car. Then we meet. How would you describe this next character, Joseph? We meet Joseph.
I mean, it's very clear from the off that this is an unstable man, just due to the way that he introduces himself, and it starts off with the jump scare thing, and
that got me.
It got me straight away, and it does throughout the rest of the film multiple times, and I like that, and I like that it was done. I don't know. It's done in a cheeky way where it's done that it's a jump scare and it's intended as a jump scare, but you don't feel ripped off by it.
No, it's we've got a thing in my house. Give a bit of personal thing here. We will all hide in corners and try and make each other jump. So, for example, last night when we went up to bed, Lisa had to go and sort one of the kids out, We have our shower curtain pulled across the bath all the time. So Lisa went and sorted out the kids. I went and climbed in the bath behind the shower curtain. And then proceeded to jump out on Lisa. And the boys do it to me. So they do it to me when I'm editing. So I'll be sat with my headphones on, editing away, and all of a sudden someone will like grab me round the waist. So these kind of, they're cheap jump scares, but I really appreciate this type of jump scare because I relate to this jump scare. This is the you pop out from behind a bush and scare your mate jump scare, and I like it.
Yeah, and it's done well. It's done really well, and you don't feel cheated by it like you would say in countless films such as Insidious and all the rest of them that do rely heavily on knockoff jump scares when someone goes into a loft and it's just a statue in a corner, if you will. This is intended to be a jump scare, but it's not intended necessarily for you. It's intended for the character on screen purposefully, and I think that's why it works so well throughout this film.
Yeah, I think it does. Aaron goes into the house with Joseph, and Joseph quickly explains that he's dying of an inoperable brain tumour, and he wants Aaron to help him make a video for his unborn child. As weird as their opening meeting was, I think if I was Aaron, I think if anyone was Aaron, at this point you couldn't say no.
No, I don't think I could either. But I also question whether it would be practical, if not ethical, for him to be doing this in the first place. Do you feel in this situation, if you got the news that Joseph had received, is this something you would consider doing?
I don't know. I've often toyed with a video will just for my own entertainment.
Can you send me a copy of that if you do it?
Yeah. I'm going to start my video will with hello and welcome to the You Run podcast.
Just another day in the office.
Yeah, exactly that. So there's a couple of things here that didn't annoy me, but I couldn't understand. So as Aaron pulls up to the house, he's already filming. Why?
Yeah, so it's almost like his own video log, as if he's... I'm on a different wavelength to you here, because there's one thing that annoys me in found footage films is there's always this question of why is the camera still rolling?
Yeah.
Sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't. I personally found this one to be acceptable. I didn't for once question why he was doing what he was doing. I mean, this is his profession, this is his job. He obviously does it as a video diary for himself, as his own keeping, if you will. So I was sold by it immediately. I didn't once question why he was doing that.
Okay. Well, I'll take that on board and say I thought it was a bit odd, but yeah, you saying that he's a videographer and he keeps his own person. Yeah, okay, it works. It works for me. What doesn't work for me is what happens next. I'm going to let you take us through Tubby time.
Yeah, so, I mean, Aaron's been in the house, maybe 10, 15 minutes max?
If that.
Immediately, Joseph decides, I know, we'll go do bath time. So Joseph strips down. He makes Aaron sit, which I can only assume is a toilet seat next to the bath, and record him while he is nakedly washing himself in the tub, while awkwardly pretending to cradle an unborn baby and doing his first, if you will, tubby time. Is that what you called it?
Yeah, it's called Tubby time, and he's playing, and then in the process of playing, he starts to get very melancholy and a little bit depressed, and then he sinks down in the bath and lays under the water, and he's there for an uncomfortable amount of time that Aaron gets up and leans over the bath to see if he's all right. To which the second jump scare in less than 15 minutes got me again as he bursts out of the tub.
Me too, immediately. And this is maybe my third or fourth time watching this film, and I still fell for it.
He apologizes to Joseph, and Joseph accepts this. This is the point I would have gone, I'm really sorry, I'm out.
I mean, you can tell from this point as well that Aaron is becoming very, very uncomfortable with the situation. I mean, Joseph has set the tone for his character and the way he is going to continue to behave from this point here. But I mean, you can see the way Aaron is is replying to him. He's trying to be as polite and as professional as he can, but it's very clear that he's not feeling good about this situation, and he's very much regretting his decision to be taking this job on.
At what point up to now, because I'd have been out now, I probably would have done the tubby time bit once he'd explained that it's something his dad used to do with him and it's something he wanted to pass to us. But after this jump scare, this would have been me done. Would you have stayed after this, or would you?
100%, 100%. Yeah, I'm a red button man. Don't touch it. I'm staying. I need to know what's going to happen next, so I am here for the long haul.
Wow. Okay. Well, you can tell us at what point you're out.
Yeah, and I think I actually have it written down in my notes at which point I'm checking out. Yeah.
So after he's apologised, he suggests that they go for a hike and get some fresh air. Aaron agrees. Joseph asks Aaron to grab something from the cupboard before they leave, and there's a wolf mask as he opens the door. And the third jump scare got me. 3 in quick succession. I can't think of another movie that's done this. Bam, 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 every single time. And fuck, shit, ah!
Yeah, it's great. It is great. It really is well done.
And we meet the wolf mask Peach Fuzz. And we get a description of how his dad used to wear a wolf mask and sing. And then he proceeds to put the mask on and sing and dance.
Hello, my name is Peach Fuzz. I might look like I eat you up, but I'm as friendly as a rabbit, and I'd make a very good friend.
Yes, very, very awkward. You can feel the awkward. I mean, Aaron doesn't even speak at this point. He's literally just letting the camera roll, and at this point, you kind of immerse yourself in his character, and you can sort of feel the emotions that he's feeling as all this is unfolding in front of him.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Yeah,
so
uncomfortable.
Very, very uncomfortable. Thankfully, the Peach Fuzz dance ends fairly quickly, in that they hike off into the woods. Not long into the woods, there's another jump scare where he pops out from behind a bush or a rock, which again got me. And then Joseph points out something amazing. You need to come and see this. Look at this, as he's standing sort of on the top of a little waterfall. And there's a perfectly heart-shaped rock pool.
I mean, the purpose for their trip, as they explain in the car on the way there, is that they're looking for this heart-shaped healing waters, which Joseph believes is going to cure him of his cancer. It's an old folk tale that the heart-shaped waters you have to be of pure of heart to be able to go into it to redeem your illnesses and all the rest of it, if you will.
Yeah, and after they found it, Joseph is going, "Oh, it's a miracle! It's and that it has a very, very awkward hug with Aaron. It's just like, let's hug it out, and you could tell Aaron is like, just get off me. I don't want to be here, and he kind of gets that across to Joseph that he's not comfortable. And Joseph, well, instead, let's go for pancakes. Are you still in at this point? Are you going for pancakes?
Yeah, I'm still going for pancakes. I mean, there's food on the table, so I'm definitely going for food.
At this point, just so everyone knows, I would be at home drinking a beer, watching a movie. So I'd be very, very not uncomfortable now. So they get to the diner, and they're having a chat. And Joseph asks Aaron to tell Joseph something he's ashamed of. Aaron tells him that he wet his pants when he was little, and he's embarrassed by that. Joseph then does his reveal of what he's embarrassed about, and turns his phone around to show Aaron photos that he took of Aaron as Aaron arrived at his house. Yes. And Aaron instantly goes, "Okay, that's fine."
I think I would as well. I didn't see. He justified it well. He was saying he felt awkward, and he felt like if he got to know him before he arrived, by maybe watching him, he would feel less uncomfortable when they had the first initial interaction. I'm not a stalker. I'm not a weirdo, but I get it.
Yeah, this is why stalkers don't leave you alone, and they leave me alone.
You saying I encourage their behaviour?
I think you definitely do. Okay, that's fine. I forgive you. You need to stop doing that and just go leave me alone.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I need to start shutting shit down more
often. We leave and we go back to Joseph's dodgy cabin in the woods for drinks and the peach fuzz rape scene.
Well, I mean, it's this point where they're awkwardly interacting, and he's practically almost begging Aaron to come back into the cabin with him for a whiskey, which Aaron knows in his mind he should not do this at all.
Yeah, and
he's like, no, I should really go. I should sort of get myself back down the hill now. It's time for me to leave. And Aaron, he knows this is a bad idea, but Joseph is so insistent that he's like, oh, okay, come on then, just one. We'll go in for just one drink.
Yeah, and they have a drink, and Aaron says, like, look, I've got a confession to make, but I'd rather you turn the camera off. Yeah. So, Joseph says he's got a confession to make, but he'd rather Aaron turn the camera off. So Aaron says, yeah, it's off, and all he's done is covered the lens, so you can't see what's going on. And Joseph tells the story about his wife, who he went searching their browser history one day because he didn't have enough space to download anything. And he found loads of bestiality porn that his wife had been watching. He then pretended to go to work, but he went and bought the peach fuzz mask. He then came back and climbed in through the window, tied his wife to the bed, and had sex with her and raped her. And then he said, and we never spoke of it, and she never knew it was me. What the fuck went through the writer's head when he come up with that bullshit?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's very clear that Joseph is a fabricist, and that he is. You can't believe anything he's saying. He's very unstable as a person, and I don't know. I didn't sort of necessarily buy into the story he was telling. I was like, nah, there's more to it. Or, it was one of them, like, oh, he introduced a peach fuzz mask and he explained it in this way. Now he's explaining it in a different way, and like the truth will sort of come out as the rest of it unfolds. So I didn't buy in too much to his story. I just thought it was another situation where he was trying to, I don't know, push Aaron's, what would you say?
To test his patience?
Not so much test his patience, but just to sort of test what he would be willing to let Aaron accommodate in terms of the interview and all the rest of it. I feel like at this point, this was where I felt he was trying to test Aaron's commitment to the job and to how much he was willing to take and how much he could push him.
Okay, so you've just had this conversation with Joseph. Are you still there now?
Yes, I'm still here.
Fuck, man.
I mean, come on, let's have this. Aaron is like 9 foot tall, and Joseph is clearly about 5'8".
Yeah, Chucky's 2'2", and Chucky would kill the pair of us.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. Maybe I should have left sooner.
So at this point, Aaron now really, really, really wants to go. Aaron's had enough. So Aaron's reached the point I was at tubby time, and he can't find his keys. And instantly I went, well, Joseph's nicked them.
Yes, obviously. And Aaron knows that as well.
Yeah, he does. And Joseph convinces him to stay the night. Just have another drink and stay here. The light is better in the morning to find your keys.
In a house full of lighting.
Yeah, and Aaron accepts this. And the only saving grace here is that Aaron mixes Benadryl into Joseph's drink to make him sleep.
Yeah.
That was the only...
knocks him out cold.
Yeah. So while Joseph is asleep, Aaron goes looking for the keys, and he rummages in Joseph's pocket and finds Joseph's phone, where he gets a phone call. The phone call is...
This phone call is from Angela, who at this point Aaron believes to be Joseph's wife.
Yeah.
They have a conversation where Aaron sort of scurries off to the closet. And Aaron basically says to Angela, he's here filming the documentary that Angela's husband has paid her for. He's there sort of doing a video log so he can leave a message basically saying if he dies from his cancer, he has something to leave behind, at which point Angela then says to him awkwardly, well, no, she doesn't. She sort of calmly says to him, leave the house, get out. And he's like, I can't find my keys. I can't get out. And she's like, no, leave your keys. Just get out. Just walk away. my brother's not stable, at which point Aaron's like, your brother? And what? You can see his face just drop in this moment.
And he comes back out from this awkward call in the cupboard, and he finds that Joseph is gone.
Yeah,
and
completely disappeared.
And I've got to say, the camera work here for a found footage really made you feel the panic that he was having.
You're checking every corner of the screen looking for Joseph at this point.
Yeah, and I was waiting for the jump scare, and here they didn't do it. And I thought that was brilliant that they queued it up, and I'm literally on the edge of my seat going, it's coming, and it doesn't. No. Aaron goes downstairs, and he finds Joseph with the peach fuzz mask on, blocking the door, gyrating his hips, and refusing to let him out. And then he attacks.
This is a point where I would leave.
Do you think?
Yeah, I feel like me and Aaron are on the same wavelength at this point. So this is where I'm ready to check out.
Yeah, so Joseph attacks, it fades to black, and then the camera comes back on, and you see Joseph dragging bin bags, which I assumed was Aaron's body, onto camera.
Yeah. I immediately believed that myself. I thought, this is it. This is time for him. This is it. He's checked out. And we're going to go on a completely different, because we're only about, a third, 2/3 of the way through this at this point?
A third at this point, if that.
Yeah.
And you see Joseph digging a hole in the ground. And then the camera turns around, and Aaron is sat there. He's like, I've just received this video from Joseph. This is fucking weird. This guy's terrifying. And even scarier, he knows where I live.
So this sort of harkens back to the original setup and the way that they use the found footage correctly, because he's clearly a vlogger. He clearly documents his life. He's alone. He's single. He's got limited friends, from what I can assume. In that situation, I would have texted somebody or called somebody pretty early on. He doesn't seem to do that. So it's pretty clear he's a very isolated man. So he talks to the camera a lot. So I feel like it all sort of ties in nicely at this point. And
yeah, I think if I had something like this, the first thing I would do is probably, I'd obviously tell my family and friends, but I think this is the sort of thing that I would share on social. This would go on my Instagram story.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be texting throughout the day. I think I'd be like to my wife, like, fucking hell, I've just turned up at this job. This dude's weird as shit.
Yeah,
he's just done this. He's just done that. Oh my god, now he's doing this. You know, I feel like I would be documenting it to somebody else. But if you don't have anybody else, I suppose the only way of your outlet is to talk to a camera or to talk to, like he does. And that's why I feel like this is a very, very believable found footage situation.
Yeah, and I'm buying into that now. I'm buying into it more now. You're explaining it. A little bit of time passes, but we don't know how much because it's found footage. So the camera goes off and then it comes on again. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be whatever. And there's been a delivery that's come to Aaron's house. He brings the box inside and opens it up, where he finds a knife and a DVD, and also finds a toy wolf, a fluffy wolf.
And this is the biggest box ever. This is clearly not delivered by Amazon. This is massive for a DVD, a knife, and a teddy.
Yeah, it's huge. And on the DVD is Joseph's love confession, that he's fallen madly in love with Aaron. And it's just creepy as fuck. And he's like, oh, and the knife is for you to cut open and he cuts open the wolf, and he finds a locket that has got their pictures in it. Oh man, it's awful.
And it's engraved with J and A, similar to what he did down at the Heart Lagoon. He carved their initials in a love heart on the rock, which was extremely creepy as well.
Yeah, it's really, really, really not nice. Aaron does the first sensible thing he's done in the entire film, is he calls the police. I'm not bashing on the police, and if I've got any police listeners, I apologise. I respect and I thank you for the work you do.
But you're immediately going to sound off here and go play your NWA record.
I'm definitely playing Dr. Dre. But in this sort of situation where he doesn't know the name of the guy, he knows where he lives, but it was actually a rental house. He's got nothing. The police are going to go, well, that's nice. Let us know if he does anything dangerous. And there's nothing else they can do,
no.
which for poor old Aaron is not very helpful. And Very, very scary. The next thing we get is Aaron switching on his camera when he's woken up in the middle of the night to a bang. And he jumps up and he switches all the lights on, has a look around, and this scene was shot brilliantly. That he's looking round and he doesn't see Joseph, but we see Joseph through the camera.
Yeah, because he doesn't take his camera with him like he usually does. So he sort of startles himself in the night, he turns on the camera, and he immediately puts the camera down on the side, which is at this point I knew he was panicked, because throughout everything up until this point, he has always sort of taken the camera with him as a focal point. He's recording everything. But at this point, he is genuinely scared, to the point where he literally puts the camera down, gets up and runs around the house asking what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And as he dives off into another room off screen, you see Joseph appear at the front door behind the glass screen.
Which, that's scary. That really is scary. But he goes back to bed, and the next thing you see is Joseph cutting a lock of Aaron's hair off.
Yes. So the camera flicks back on, and instead of it being Aaron vlogging or talking, we just see Aaron asleep. But at which point you're like, well, if you're asleep, who the fuck is holding this camera in your bedroom?
Yeah, and it's Joseph. And this is where this film gets so uncomfortable. So he cuts off a lock of his hair. In the morning, Aaron wakes up, switches his camera on to find a new DVD that is inside his bedroom on his windowsill, which, is...
At this point here, I was just a little bit confused at how much time had passed, because they explained that the DVD was pushed through the shutter screen. So we didn't know whether this was the night after the hair locket thing and he'd left it on the side, or they were trying to explain that this was maybe a week or whatever had passed and he just pushed it through the window one night.
Yeah, see, this is actually something I like in found footage. This is one of the reasons I like found footage films, is the lack of explanation of timeline.
Yeah, it just made me assume that he's not going back and watching this footage back the very next day after recording.
No, I think there's definitely a time gap there. I say that there's one film that I like, which is the Paranormal Activity films, that give you a very distinct timeline.
Yeah, but that is a time-stamped out the majority of the way through those.
But most other found footage don't. And I like the fact that you don't know if it's been a day, a week, a month, or a year. I like that. I think that's it makes you think more.
Yeah.
So on this new DVD, there is Aaron goes and puts the DVD on. And this DVD is basically Joseph saying, look, I'm really, really sorry. I know that this has all come across a bit weird and it's a bit strange and it's all a bit sudden. So how about we meet up in a public place? So if you meet me here at this time, we'll discuss it, we'll draw a line under it, and we'll forget all about it. And Aaron decides he's going to go. Would you have gone?
Would I have gone? Yeah, I'm an idiot. I would be there.
See, none of this would have happened to me because Joseph would not have got this attached to me because I left literally seconds after tubby time.
Yeah, it's very clear. I would not do very well in horror films because I am a proper nosy bastard. And I like to know things and I like to know what's going on. So curiosity is going to get the better of me every time.
Yeah, see, I'm very much if I don't need to know, I don't really care.
Yeah, I think my biggest downfall is I need answers.
Yeah, I don't. The only thing I do go and investigate, so I put something on Instagram the other day asking, what have we learned from horror movies? And I got 100 of something comments on there, people going, you don't do this, you don't do that. And someone put in there, you don't go and investigate a noise. That's the one thing that I'm notorious for doing. If there's a bang or a noise outside, I'll check through the curtains. And if I can't see what's made the bang or noise, I will go out and look.
Yeah, I do that. My wife goes ape shit at me because I will do it at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, me too.
I will go downstairs. If someone's knocked a bin over, whether it's a window or not, I will be out there like, what's going on out here?
Yeah, I am as well. And I am the really bad person as well because I am out there in a pair of boxer shorts and a pair of flip-flops going, what made that noise? What made that noise?
Yeah, I would die the same way with little dignity.
But Aaron agrees to go. He gets there. You see the camera switch on, and he sets the camera up on I'm guessing on a wall about, I don't know, 50 meters away from this bench. And he tells tells you as the viewer, or tells his own video log, that he's got his phone on speed dial for 911. And he goes there, and you watch him stand there for a while, and he looks around, and then he takes a seat next to this kind of like pond in a park or lake in a park.
So it's a bit bigger than a pond, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's staring out to the lake, and he's watching the water. And Joseph walks up behind him wearing a big trench coat. He then takes the peach fuzz mask out of the trench coat and puts that on. He then pulls out an axe and buries it in the back of Aaron's head. And I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a very, very shocking scene. And like I said before, I've seen this film maybe 4 or 5 times now. And every single time I pay close attention to the scene where the axe hits the head, to see the transition, to see whether it's flawlessly done. It's flawlessly done. I mean, it's not gory, it's not violent. Well, it's obviously violent, but it's not gory. You don't see blood splatter or anything. But it's not like if you pay attention to it, it's not like he hits it to the side of him or anything like that. I mean, this clearly goes in his head.
Yeah.
This isn't a dummy sat there on that bench. It's so well done and looks so realistic. And
you get the sound effect they use is brilliant as well. It's like a it's a really, really good, powerful scene. And literally after he hits him with the axe, I was like, where do we go from here? I genuinely went, well, that's the film over. I was expecting credits to roll, but they don't. It fades to black, and then the camera comes back on, and you get the final confession from Joseph, that he admired Aaron for having his phone on speed dial and for setting up the camera. He was confused why he was really paranoid, and then just stopped being paranoid and watched the water.
Didn't turn around.
Yeah, and then he's like, but I know that's because you're genuinely a good person.
Yeah.
And that's why you were my favourite.
And this was where I was like, you creepy motherfucker.
See, I was you creepy motherfucker at tubby time. We're at the end now, and you've only just got to creepy motherfucker.
No, but this is where he seriously excelled on his weirdness, and he's declaring him honourable for being such a good guy, and that is why he died in this situation. And then to declare him as his favourite oozes freakiness from him.
Yeah, and it instantly tells you he's killed other people, which he then confirms by placing the DVD with Aaron written on it into the cupboard, which had so many VHS and DVDs with other people's names on. I was like, oh my God.
Do you know what I really appreciate about this scene as well is the fact that it's transitioned with technology as well. Like, you can tell he has been doing it for that long a time that he has so many of them on VHS, and then he's upgraded to DVD switchover, and then has a row of DVDs afterwards as well.
Maybe he's in the process of converting the ones that were on VHS to DVD.
Possibly, or maybe he's just a retro collector. We don't know.
Are you saying this could be Gareth from Video Tasties? Is that what you're insinuating here?
I like Gareth a lot, but if there's something you need to tell us, mate, you can call in anytime.
Yeah. Maybe Gareth has got one of these in one of the videos he hasn't checked yet.
Yeah, possibly. That is a YouTube episode I'm definitely tuning in for.
Yeah, because he quite often does say, if you don't follow Video Tasties, he was on last season. He does a thing quite regular where he buys a bulk of VHS, and he'll have VHS that have got no markings on them at all. And he pops them in the VHS, puts them in the video recorder, and watches them live, having no idea what
whatever's on it is on it.
Yeah. And if anyone owned VHS or video recorders back in the 80s and 90s, there could be anything on there from a bar mitzvah to a porno.
I think the last one I tuned into, we got Mortal Kombat in its full entirety and an episode of Brookside, which was great.
But that's that. Let's find out what you think about it. We wanted them. You delivered them. It's this week's Free Run from the listeners. Okay, so this week's 3-word reviews. Nightmare on Elliott Avenue. That's peach fuzz. Elliot is a nomad in search of the perfect pizza, and he's a horror movie enthusiast. We've got Andy Geek killing it, Holy Spanking Almighty, and he's a digital creator and podcaster. Frightmare Collective Podcasts is Tubby Time. And they're a horror movie podcaster. And final, to balance it all out, Voices of the Mausoleum, Waste of Time. And they are a horror account, podcaster, and YouTuber. Into facts this week. It's time to find out what you know about this movie and what we know. It's facts. We got the same fact from two people, one on Twitter, one on Instagram. The same fact and ending their fact with their opinion in the same way. IMO, in my opinion. So the fact came from Wednesday Wine and Horror and Voices of the Mausoleum. And the fact is, the film is almost totally improvised. That being said, it was filmed in a week with only a 5-page outline. Almost identical wording on both of the 3-word reviews. Heather, Wednesday Wine and Horror. In my opinion, it's brilliant. Voices of the Mausoleum. In my opinion, it's awful.
Ooh.
So there is a divide on this. There's lots of people who like it, but there's lots of people who don't as well. So I think it's fair to show a balance.
I'm very surprised by that as well, because I just automatically assume that this is loved universally and just very underlooked.
Yeah, it is. I did get a couple of other people who messaged me, I hate this film. I had someone who DM'd me with, this is the creepiest film ever. I don't even know if I can listen to the episode. I hate this film.
Wow.
And that's a regular listener. So I don't know. There is some hate out there for it as well. Into my facts, there's not a lot on this. This is an independent film that, yeah, it was totally improvised filmed in a week with a 5-page outline. There's not a lot of facts that go with this. The Aaron is the director, mm-hmm. and Joseph was his friend. And most of this was improv of them just driving around in the car and deciding what they were doing scene to scene. But it is part of a trilogy. So part 2 came out in 2017, and we're still waiting on part 3. But as far as I can see, there's no news on that yet.
There isn't, and I check regularly because I am a massive, massive fan of this film and the sequel. I think the sequel is probably more impressive than this one. And I do check regularly to find out what's going on with it all. And there's literally been nothing for the best part of 2 years now.
Which is distressing, because I'm definitely gonna go and watch number 2. I think I need to see it.
You definitely do, yeah. It's a very, very interesting film, and I think like if you can appreciate the first one and you've paid attention throughout the first one, going into the second one, it's not in your face with its nods and its callbacks to the first. But if you like the first and you watch them in quick succession, I think you would pick up on what it was trying to achieve in the second. It's fantastic. It really is, and in my opinion, I think it is better than the first.
Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to give it a watch. My last fact for this is one that I paused the screen and painstakingly sat and counted. So, judging by Joseph's VHS and DVD collection, he has killed over 60 people, which makes this even more scary.
You actually paused and counted this?
Yeah.
Do you go to work?
I do, but I don't know if the listeners know this. So obviously, a lot of the guests who come on, so you know this, Elise knows this, Heather knows this. I suffer with a mild form of insomnia. So my bedtime's normally midnight, and I'm up between 4:30 and 5 every day. So I get a lot of time when the world is asleep, I can do things.
Yeah, you do a lot of things though. The fact that you have the time to pause this film and count 60 DVDs just worries me at how much time you actually have.
Enough that I can run 2 podcasts, a YouTube show, have a family, and work full time. So yeah, I do okay. I really enjoyed this movie. It's very uncomfortable to watch. There's no great in-depth story here, but it didn't need it. As I said at the beginning, this is the Ron Seal of horror movies. I don't know if they have Ron Seal in the States. We've got a lot of people in the States. And Ron Seal is like they do wood stains, and their advert is Ron Seal Quick Dry and Wood Stain. Does exactly what it says on the tin. And there's a free advert for Ron Seal. You're welcome. So this movie is exactly that. This movie is called Creep, and it does exactly what it says on the cover. It creeped the shit out of me. It's not perfect. I'm definitely going to watch number 2. And if number 2 is as good as number 1, I'm definitely up for a third one. It's an 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I have to follow that with I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. I think this is a phenomenal found footage film. I have a really, really serious love-hate relationship with found footage films, and it all harkens back to the reasoning for the camera rolling. And I feel like this is one in particular that deals with that subject matter perfectly. It doesn't span it out over a matter of weeks or months. It is literally a one-night situation with a couple of minute snippet interactions in between. I feel overall, as far as found footage films go, this is the best one there is out there. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch, but it's definitely in the top 5.
That's definitely a stretch. There's lots of others that I would say are infinitely better than this. For example, Paranormal Activity, Wreck, The Blair Witch Project. There's definitely others out there that are superior to this.
Well, Wreck lies as my number 1 found footage film. I wouldn't necessarily go as far as saying that they're all infinitely better, though, would you?
Yeah.
Infinitely better?
Yeah.
Or just slightly better?
No, they're infinitely. They're very, very different movies, but they're infinitely better. So all 3, Paranormal Activity 1's a 9 out of 10. You've got Blair Witch Project's a 10 out of 10. And
I still haven't seen the original Blair Witch Project, so
what?
Please don't come at me. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just kind of hoping it pops up in an episode this season.
I've already done it with Heather, so it's not going to pop up. Everyone DM Mark, literally bombard Mark, or call into the show and give him shit for not. How have you not watched The Blair Witch? Why have you been living?
I don't know. It's never really, looks a bit meh to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Should I rectify that situation?
You definitely should, so I don't have to say the words. Calling out for a new
I will
co-host.
watch this. I will watch. Right. My promise to you is I will watch Blair Witch Project before the next episode comes out, and I will tell you whether I was justified in waiting or not.
I tell you what, I won't put that much pressure on you, but what I'll do is say you need to watch Blair Witch Project before we get to Zombieland 2, Zombieland Double Tap. That gives you a good 4 weeks ish.
Oh, I can do it within a week. We'll see. If we get to an episode before Zombieland, it'll definitely be done before Zombieland 2. But if I can do it before then, I will do.
Okay, and we'll get like a little mini review and a score from you.
Yes, I will give it a quick 2-minute synopsis and a score at the end, and I will tell you that I was right in skipping it all along.
Okay. Well, anyway, into sound off.
Murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
Let's hear your thoughts as you sound off.
You will get a chance to say what you want. I'm not limiting you to 3 words now. Lumberjay the hair gay watched half and got bored.
I can't believe that. I really don't understand why people would not like this.
Pretty killer podcast. I actually really liked it, and the ending blew my mind. It embodied the meaning creep to the absolute fullest, and I think I agree with that completely. Velma cosplay. I quite liked it. It definitely got the creepiness down for sure. There's not another movie that's as creepy as this. I can't think of one. There's really not. And eBunny06, I fucking love this movie so much.
I'm with you 100% on that.
Yeah. If you do want to go and watch this, in the UK, it's available on Netflix, or you can rent it on Prime. In the US, exactly the same. It's on Netflix, or you can rent it on Prime. Before we go into what's happening next week, I, after watching this, went on a little expedition back through my my DMs on Twitter and Instagram. And I dug out some of the creepiest messages that I have received since doing this show. I've picked out a couple, and I just want to get your reaction to some of these, Mark. So we'll start off with the first one.
These aren't from me, are they, by the way?
No, they're not. There is one on... So I'm not going to name who any of these are from, apart from one, which I am going to name. So the first one is... do you know that even now reading them back is like, I don't like this. So the first one is, and I got this really early on after starting my Instagram page and the show. Would you rather I watched you sleep, or would you rather it was the other way around?
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to tell people who this is? I feel like people need to be aware that these people are out there.
No, this is quite a big buff guy. Lives in the United States. Yeah,
you and him are quite close now, so you don't want to name him, or
no, we're definitely not. The next one is this is a conversation. So most of these I didn't reply to. This one I did. So this started off very, very normal and took a very swift turn in a different direction. So I got a message that said, "Can I ask you a question?" I replied, "Yeah, sure, no problem." They put, "It's actually a series of questions." I put, "Yeah, okay, fire away." And they put, "How old are you?" I put, 39. They put, "Where do you live?" I put, "In the UK." This is starting to sound very much like a scam. And they put, "It's not a scam. Don't worry. Not all of the questions are like that. I'm trying to get a baseline." I messaged back, "Okay." And they put, "Boxers or briefs?" And I went, "Boxers." And then the fourth question was pleasure or pain. And I sort of went, "Well, this is strange, but..."
What the fuck is this? Pinhead?
Well, I thought, let's let it play out. So we'll let it play out. And I put pleasure. To which the response I got was, wrong answer, buddy. Now you're in for it. And I thought, do you know what? You were obviously a little bit unhinged, so I'm going to play along. And I put, "In for what?" Smiley face. And they put, "You will find out soon, you motherfucker."
Wow, that took a swift left turn. Did you ever find out?
I haven't done yet, but that message happened less than a month ago.
Oh, brilliant. So you may find in the next episode that this is run solely by me, and that is due to Scott's own stalker problem.
The next one is, I got a bit... So this was someone I was talking to on and off, that they've been mentioned on the show before. I'm not going to name names. They put, "Why don't you like me?" And I didn't reply. They put, "I support you constantly, and you don't even know I exist." And I ignored them. They replied, "You are absolute scum." And I ignored them. They put, "I will continue to support you, though. Don't worry, I'm always here." And I blocked them.
Wow. That sounds slightly familiar.
I know you've had very similar messages like that.
I have had run-ins with accounts similar to that.
Yes.
I've had accusations and all sorts thrown in my direction.
You have, and I'm not going to drag all that back up because it's just gone quiet, so hopefully she's going to leave you alone.
Yeah, we'll just leave it buried where it is and hope it stays that way.
Exactly. The final one is a very weird message, very, very creepy, very, very, very Joseph. And it comes from our very own horror review girl.
So her name is Elise. Let's get everybody to know who she is.
No. For this purpose of this message, she is definitely horror review girl. This is not Elise because this is too creepy for Elise. So about 4 o'clock in the morning, I was on Instagram. I'd woken up because I don't sleep very much, and I put on a post on my story and a post, and I got an instant message from Elise. Went, "Hi, I jumped on as soon as I saw your post." And then that was followed by the picture of, what's his name? The guy from the In-Betweeners that went, "Ooh, friend."
Oh, what a legend.
That's a taster of the kind of messages I get. There are some really scary people out there. And as much as I let you run the show and you can call in, and I do kind of try to keep those people a little bit at an arm's length if possible. Speaking of keeping those people at an arm's length, next week horror review girl Elise is here. And we're going to be reviewing a movie that I have wanted to review forever. We are reviewing Freddy versus Jason.
I cannot wait for this. I haven't seen that film probably since I was a teenager.
I'm fully in for this. I've not watched it for a very, very long time. In my head, I have fond memories. However, I may not like it when I come to watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, as an outsider, I'm not very familiar with both the Nightmare or the Friday the 13th franchise, so you're going to get a very neutral opinion from me on whether this is the utter dog shit that it's been made out to be on the internet for so many years.
And I already know where Elise sits on this. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but let's say Elise goes hard one way or the other.
I honestly can't think what she's going to do here either.
No, because she likes some utter rubbish and she hates on some really good films. So this could be, it could go either way. Don't forget, please get involved in the show. Call into the show, yourunpodcast.com. There's a button. It's a picture of a skull. It says record us a message. Click on that. It'll pop up and it'll just say hit record. Hit record, say whatever you want to say, and we'll play it on the air. 3-word review, sound off, however you want to get involved. DM me, DM Mark. I'm at You Run Podcast. Mark is
I'm not going to remember.
At MW_horror_reviews. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Mark's on Instagram and Twitter, but don't go to Twitter because Mark doesn't even respond to episode posts on Twitter.
I'm lucky if I respond to anything. The best thing to do is message Scott at the You Run Podcast, and I'll just be here every week, and he will inform me as we go.
Is that how this works? I thought this was a partnership.
No, I'm just not feeling it. I feel like I'll just turn up each week, and you can update me as we go from here.
Okay, and if the person who sent me the series of questions would like to send the same series of questions or a different series of questions to Mark, you can find him at MW_horror_reviews on Instagram.
I will promise to remember my own Instagram hashtag by the season finale. That seems pretty fair. That gives me like 20 episodes.
Yeah, that seems fair enough. Thank you, everyone, for listening. It makes a huge, huge, huge difference to me that you listen. We put this show out for free every single week. We love doing it. If you enjoy the show, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It really does make a big difference. Every time you give us a review, we jump up the charts a little bit. And if we creep into a certain amount of the charts, Spotify or Apple then start pushing us onto the recommend pages. And if we hit those, we grow. And the more we grow, the more we can do. And blah, blah, you understand how this works. You're not stupid. So help us out so we can make this show better for you. That's it. That's this episode a wrap. So I guess we'll catch you all next week.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Oh, and don't forget, we'll be watching you. Goodbye.
That's creepy.
You want to die tonight?
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the You Run Podcast. Don't forget to get involved in the show. All you need to do is head to our website, yourunpodcast.com.
This is not our show. This is your show.